Hey guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. This was another one sent in by Hazard. You might remember him. He was the one who brought the amazing Iron Drake's dwarf build the other day. But yeah, he's got a really cool Wood Elf build here. He's against the Vampire Coast, and usually against the Vampire Coast, Wood Elves tend to just bring billions of missile units and just kill everything from a distance, and maybe have some cavalry to help pick things off. But this one is there's no range. There's no range at all. Yeah, Wild Riders, Wild Riders, Wild Riders, Wild Riders, and then War Dancers. All the War Dancers ever. And hang on, no, I don't. It is off. Cool. Also Orion. Orion is here, and Orion, obviously Cloak of Isha will keep him healed up, but only when he gets really damaged. So if there's too much DPS on him, he will go down pretty quickly. He's quite a big target. But one thing that is beautiful here is the Horde of the Wild Hunt. Since the last patch, it does nothing but add charge bonus. But that is an absurd charge bonus at plus 54%. It is unbelievable. And since the War Dancers rather, they've got pretty good charge bonus for infantry. But they're just such great anti-infantry. They will just cleave through any of that cheap fodder. But obviously, no missile resistance or armor, just cheap guns can just wreak havoc. Also though, there's a Branch Wraith. He's going to be upping nearby melee attack for units, which is really good. He's also got Shield of Thorns, which is very handy to add physical resist and weapon damage. Physical resist will help shrug off some gunfire, and the weapon damage means killing those things quicker. He's also got a Melkoths, he's got Earth Blood, and Awakening the Wood, really good against unarmored things. So he'll be able to hit a lot of stuff, you know, big blobbed up bunches of zombies. Going to be really handy indeed. Now his opponent, this is really fun. He's got a load of chaff in the front line, loads of zombie pirate deckhands mobs, and some pole arms on the outside to screen some cavalry. He's got deck gunners, he's got shade wraith gunners, and then a load of handguns in the front, including the black spot that have anti-large and armor piercing in melee as well, so they can help anchor that front line from cavalry and things. He's also got a gunnery wight. The gunnery wight will be able to replenish ammunition, also has some pretty good missile damage himself, so that's pretty scary. Also, he has Lore of the Deep, so usually you want to heal, but when all of your stuff is this cheap, who really cares about healing? Nah, just summon more bodies, summon more rotting Prometheans and scary stuff like that. Also in the back, there's a Queen Bess. That's right, there's a Queen Bess. And it has Spiteful Shot right now. Yeah, so that's going to be super accurate and kill everything. It's very scary. And it has been guarded by the Tide of Skjold. So, interesting. Let's speed it up. So, this stuff, first thing it needs to do is actually get to the enemy army. You can see there was one unit of Dryads right at the front to try and take some of the blows. 60 armor is actually fairly high for a unit that cheap, and because it can vanguard, you can put it out the front, and handguns are going to waste their time shooting at it. But here you can see Orion is taking a lot of punishment here. He is being really punished for existing right now. Look at all this gunfire. So here he's used the Hounds of Orion to try and disrupt this back line, but didn't really stay on the Shade Wraith gunners. He wants to wipe out the Shade Wraith gunners. Here Hawk's Talon trying to do some work, but it's just not really putting in the hurt, and Orion is really injured right now. The Dryads did flee, but War Dancers starting to press in, and you see all the cavalry now is getting ready to charge in, which is very nice. Where's the other cav? Wasn't there two on this side? Alright, maybe not. I've gone insane. Who cares? These guys are coming in. Horde of the Wild Hunt, giving them a huge charge bonus. 100 charge bonus they have now. So it was going to go in for these guys, but nope, he's going to move around and then get into this juicy pocket. Because now that the War Dancers are in here, this stuff is going to die very quickly. Except, obviously, the ones that are running away, they're not going to do so well. But beautiful charge on these gunnery mob with handguns. So that's going to give Orion a lot of respite, so he's going to be able to move back in now. And these Wild Riders, it's risky running in here. I mean, pole arms are starting to get in here. Rotting Prometheans have just been summoned. A load of War Dancers in here, cleaving through all this stuff. But you can see the front line is buckling in a load of places, and all the back line is disrupted. These Wild Riders, even if they're completely wiped out, they've done their job, because they've stopped the entire back line from being able to fire at anything. And if they can't shoot at anything, there's nothing supporting their front line. So all that chaff doesn't matter. They're just going to get cut through, and then all these units will be able to start pouring in, and that's exactly what is happening. These War Dancers are getting in now, and once they're into this pocket, none of this stuff will be able to escape the War Dancers, or be able to turn around and fire long enough to really do the damage. And Earthblood has been used, and these Wild Riders have stayed in the fight. Over here, War Dancers pressing this way, War Dancers now coming in this way, and some more Wild Riders have pushed into the back to try and take Queen Bess offline. Still 57 kills for Queen Bess, not bad to say. It's been dived on pretty quickly. The other unit of cavalry now charging in from the other way, so War Dancers on one side, cavalry on the other, Orion just running around in the middle. And over here, amazingly, these War Dancers are shrugging off the damage to the rotting Prometheans, which I find very surprising. And here, Hounds of Orion on a big, juicy pocket. of zombie pirate deckhands mobs. And that puts Orion over 80 kills now. That's pretty great. This Branch Wraith, he's not very good at killing, you know, a ton of stuff quickly, but he's keeping this unit completely busy, and he's kind of fine sat around there. Some of these units could be brought back, but at the moment all the micro is being used to make sure the cavalry are getting as much work done as possible. So this is pretty wonderful. Orion doing a fine job of killing this Fleet Admiral, and this is actually a mistake. The fact that he is on the Rotting Promethean here, Rotting Leviathan? No, Rotting Promethean, that's the one. Yeah, he's a big target now, so he's actually more vulnerable to Orion than he would have been otherwise. And the armor-piercing Orion, so that means that 120 armor isn't going to help. That Fleet Admiral is in a lot of trouble. But more Rotting Prometheans being summoned, but right now the War Dancers cleave through everything. 50 kills on them, 170 kills on them, 200 kills on them, 80, 76, and the Wild Rise are getting a ton of kills as well. They're absolutely wonderful. And you see now, Horde of the Wild Hunt once again, which means they can just start yo-yoing between things. You know, just keep swapping targets so they keep getting the charges on things. Queen Bess crumbling, Tidus Skjold crumbling. Their Lord is nearly dealt with, and these Rotting Prometheans aren't doing enough. And here, Wild Rider's charging the other way, so the Fleet Admiral can't escape Orion. And this is absolutely devastating. Even the War Dancers are getting in on this cycle charging action. So Shade Wraith Gunners crumbling. Everything is starting to crumble. Here, though, Gunnery White, he's still fairly healthy, but he's surrounded by Wild Riders. He really wants to be shooting at things. He wants to be able to sort of shoot at Orion, get more damage on Orion, because Cloak of Isha is keeping him healed up right now. He's not taking damage quick enough for it to matter. And now another charge into the Rotting Prometheans. Of course, their leadership is holding, because they're a summoned unit. So these guys will actually anchor that line pretty well, but there are so many units free now, and all the zombies, all the chaff have been dealt with, and that is army losses already. Brutal. Brutal fight. So, yeah, Gunnery White going. Yeah, they're going. Now it's just the summoned unit. So, just got to kill some crabs now. Okay, looks like he didn't want to wait. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, it's frustrating when people just sit there and, you know, keep fighting you. Unless, of course, you're having a chat. I quite like when people have a chat. That's nice. That's a good excuse to stick around. But, yeah, Pyrrhic victory. So this was pretty wonderful. I mean, the kills on all these units was obscene. I mean, 246 kills for the War Dancers there. Absolutely wonderful. That's the thing, you know, you get on top of a line like this. I mean, the chaff isn't going to hold out. The whole point of the chaff is to hold things at bay while the guns do the work. But when you've got such great damage dealers as the War Dancers, they can cleave through that stuff so fast. So the blockade doesn't last very long. So although while you're getting into the fight, you're taking an absurd amount of damage, and, you know, you're going to suffer during that initial walk up to your opponent, but that one unit, Wild Ride, is able to just completely bog down all of those guns. None of the guns were able to keep firing, and Orion, he had the Cloak of Isha, so once all the guns were taken offline, or, you know, otherwise preoccupied, Orion was going to be able to heal through any damage he might have taken, so it didn't matter that he'd lost 90% of his health. It just meant that he was able to stay at 10% for the rest of the battle. It kept all the guns busy, when maybe they should have just been going for the War Dancers, try and break more of these units, get those crabs in there, you know, do what you can to sort of bog things down, stop things getting on top of your lines. But yeah, it was a tough one for sure. I mean, you see this and you don't expect it to work particularly well. You expect this to crumble very quickly under so much gunfire, but it just refused to. You know, once it got into that front line, it was all over. You know, there's nothing this army could have done to prevent just the momentum that the Wood Elves had, and that huge charge bonus from Orion. It really let the Wild Riders get some work in. I mean, these are ludicrous numbers of kills. Absolutely wonderful. So that was stupidly enjoyable. And sadly, a bit of a short one, so I don't get to put an advert at the end, but I'm not going to pad it out just for that sake. As long as you enjoy it, I'm cool. So guys, I hope you did. If you did, then please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.